class, welcome back to this time chapter 2, percentages, ratios and rates. We're beginning the chapter with exercise 2A, understanding percentages. All of this is review of what we covered last year, but we will go over it again before we jump into some new content later in the chapter. So a percentage, just as review, is shows an amount out of 100. So percent literally means per 100. Think there's 100 cents in a dollar, or 100 years in a century, okay? We express it with this symbol here, the little percentage symbol, and that indicates percent, okay? If a fraction does not have a denominator of 100, we need to find an equivalent fraction that does, or we can use division, as we did in our previous chapter with decimals. So I will review all three of those methods today, beginning with our first example. Write each fraction as a percentage. The first one is 7 out of 100. Well, percent literally means per 100, and this here is 7 per 100. So all we need to do here is literally just rewrite 7 as a whole number and put a percentage after it. That's it. So 7 out of 100, it just means 7%. Nice and easy. Second example gets a little bit trickier. We've got 9 out of 20. So this point here, this if a fraction does not have a denominator of 100 point, we don't have a denominator of 100, but we can make it an equivalent fraction with a denominator of 100. So have a think about what number we can multiply 20 by to get a denominator of 100. If you're thinking the number 5, great job, okay? Whatever we do to the bottom, we have to do the top, otherwise it is no longer an equivalent fraction, okay? So 20 times 5 equals 100, and 9 times 5 is 45. That gives us 45%, so 45 out of 100, or 45 per 100. The last example is the trickiest, 5/12. Now, you can't multiply 12 by any number evenly to get 100, and the decimal to multiply by is very messy. So for this one here, we're going to use division. So we'll go 12 into, well, how many times does 5 divide by 12? Okay. 5, of course, if you have 5 whole pieces, you can't break it into 12 whole pieces. So we put a 0 out there. Put the decimal, and we'll add trailing zeros until we find either a repeating number or our terminating decimal, so until we get to the end. This time we're going to look at it as 50. So 50 divided by 12, well, 4 times 12 is 48, so we get 4, remainder 2, and pop that on another trailing 0. 20 divided by 12 is just 1, divided by 8, okay. We might need some more room soon. 80 divided by 12, okay, that one there is 6, remainder 8, 6, remainder 8, and we're going to start to see a pattern here, okay? So our answer for this one is 0.41666. Well, that's great. We could write that as 41.666 recurring, okay, over 100. Yeah, so if we move, this here is our 100ths place. I've drawn that arrow in completely the wrong spot, that's fine. So because this here is the 100th place, okay, anything after it could be a decimal. Of course, we don't like decimals and fractions, but for the sake of demonstrating this here example, we're just going to roll with it, okay? And then we can rewrite that now as 41.6. We'll round it to 7%. You can, of course, indicate that it is recurring if you'd like, or put the 3 dots. I would just round it to 2 decimal places personally, but that is totally up to you. That concludes today's lesson. Of course, you can watch this back as many times as you need and flick me any messages for help that you need as well. Good luck with the work, guys, and I'll speak to you all very soon.